So on a teacher's iPad, they should have 2 Apple ID accounts signed in. If a teacher has said that they've run out of storage on the iPad, odds are that they're not signed in with the correct Apple ID for their iCloud account. To check this, you're going to open Settings and tap on their name. If under their name it says kmarshall or at appleid.mydoolin.org, then they are signed in with the correct iCloud account, and they may just be saving all of their content on the iPad instead of to iCloud. That's an easy fix. If instead under their name it says something like at doolin.k12.in.us or an at Gmail or an at Yahoo, then that means that they're signed into their iCloud account with a personal Apple ID, which they only get 5 gigs of cloud storage for. You want to make sure that under their name, it's the at appleid.mydoolin.org email address because that gets 200 gigs of cloud storage. For the iTunes and the App Store, if you look in the middle, that one should have a personal Apple ID. So it should say at doolin.k12 or at Gmail or at Yahoo. So they actually are going to have 2 accounts signed in. If the teacher does not have the at Apple ID email at the top, there is a process to transfer this over. I'm going to demonstrate that next. Okay, so now let's take a look at how to fix this if a teacher is not signed in with their managed Apple ID. So when I open the Settings app and I tap on the teacher's name, I notice that under their name, it does not say at appleid.mydoolin.org. In this case, it says at Gmail, it might say at Yahoo, it might say at doolin.k12. Either way, they're not signed in with their managed Apple ID. Before I just go ahead and hit sign out though, I need to make sure that I turn off anything that's been saved on iCloud with this personal one because otherwise they'll lose it. So one of the things, for example, is if they don't want to lose all of their pictures, they need to go down in Settings, and you can do this with them, and they need to tap on Photos and turn off iCloud Photos. It's going to ask them if they want to remove them from the iPad or download the photos and videos. If they don't want to lose them, they're going to want to hit download. That will turn off once all of the videos and photos are downloaded. Okay? If they don't care about losing their photos, then they don't even have to worry about that step. Another place where there's iCloud content is in Notes. So if they have been saving notes to their iCloud account, they need to change this, and they're going to hit edit, and they're going to, in here, I'm going to select notes, and I want to move them to on my iPad, which I don't have turned on. So if it's not turned on, then you're going to have to go to Notes in Settings and turn on the On My iPad account. So that way now I can select these iCloud notes and move them to On My iPad. And so now I won't lose any of those notes, okay? The next thing that you have to check for is in the Files app. In the Files app, if they have things on their iCloud drive, you need to select them and move them to On My iPad. If they're loose documents, then you can just tap on them and say move at the bottom and then to On My iPad and hit copy. So now those items are now in the On My iPad folder. If they're actually in a folder, then you have to open them and then select the individuals and say move, and then under On My iPad I can move those into the Keynote file. And so now they're on my iPad. So you have to move all of that iCloud content before you sign out, otherwise they will lose all of it. However, if you ask the teacher, do you care if you lose any of these things that are on this iCloud, and they say no, then it doesn't matter. Forget all of those steps, and all you have to do then is just tap on sign out at the bottom. So they're going to sign out, and they may have to put in their password for this Apple ID. It's going to turn everything off. If they use any of these things, you can keep a copy of them. I'm not going to. I'm just going to hit sign out. And so this is that step. It's removing iCloud data. So if you haven't moved anything, then they'll lose it. But if they don't care, then it doesn't matter. So now that I'm signed out, I'm now going to tap sign in, and this time I'm going to sign in with my managed Apple ID. So this is the one that's at appleid.myduneland.org. It would help if I could spell. They're probably going to have to two-factor. And now it's signed into my managed iCloud account. This is the one that has 200 gigs of cloud storage. I can merge if you had some stuff from Safari. You can use that. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So now I'm signed in with my managed Apple ID. To use the App Store, I have to tap on iTunes and App Store. Then I'm going to tap on that Apple ID. I'm going to hit sign out. I have to do that again. I'm sorry. So now you can see we're back to the point that I was originally, where my managed Apple ID is at the top, and for iTunes and App Store, my personal Apple ID is in there. Now, if I want, I can go back to Photos, and I can turn on iCloud Photos, and I can go back into Notes, and if I want, I can take those notes that were on my iPad, and I can move them back into the regular note, and now I can take those files that I had put on my iPad, and I can now move them back onto iCloud Drive. And now the iPad should not run out of storage.